I was 5 when the war finished, and as far as I'm concerned, it didn't impact on me a great deal. My grandma lived in Ashfield. That was Mum's mum, and with all the men being away, Cass, Mum's sister Cass, her husband Bernie was away at the war, and Ted was away at the war. And Ted, he'd been a shearer and a rouseabout fellow, so he wasn't married and had no family. But anyway, so I stayed with them quite a bit, and I realised later that I stayed there with them particularly when Mum and Dad lost a little baby boy, and I was sent up to Sydney to stay with those aunts and my grandma while things were all sorted out down in Port Kembla. So the little...
And how old were you then, Mum?
I would have been 5, around about 5, I think. Yes, so Mum and Dad were living at Port Kembla at the time with Jill and Anne. Jill was 13 years older than me, and Anne was 9 years older than me. So I really didn't have very much to do with them because they were in a different life altogether, really. What else was I going to say?
So you were telling me about the 3 uncles that were...
That's right. So in due course we heard that the war was over. Now I can remember that distinctly because, as I say, we lived at Port Kembla, and the cry went out all over the world, the war is over. What did that mean to me? Nothing. But Anne and Jill took me down to the main street in Port Kembla, which was a flat sort of a street, and everybody was dancing. I can remember that really well, doing the hokey pokey, putting your arm in and your arm out. A 5-year-old child. It was really...
The adults doing the hokey pokey?
They were the ones doing the hokey pokey. They were singing and dancing, and it was just a real eye-opener to see these people that normally were quite quiet, and there they were all dancing. So that was lovely. So they didn't know whether they were alive or dead, the ladies, etc. But at any rate, I was in the yard and in a vegetable patch actually, and I looked up and I saw this man coming. Now, I didn't know him because, you know, the war had been on for so long, and I looked up and I saw this man, and so I ran in and said to my grandma, "There's a man in the backyard there." So she went out, and of course up went the big salute. And so then the other 2 men, Uncle Bernie, who was a lovely man, and who was the other one? Les. So they turned up within a couple of days. So that was joy and wonder.
And where had they...